Hello! Hello, is there anybody out there? Good evening, afternoon or morning, on depending when you're listening. Welcome to Some People Are on the Pitch, Season 2. Woo! Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. I am your host, Bobby Hurst. I'm very well, thank you for asking. I've just got back from Bermuda, actually. I'm peeling like an orange. But we are back to bring you some thoughts, opinion, banter, and hopefully, I stress hopefully, a few laughs on the weekend's football. It's nice to be back for a new season. Let's hope we don't get a bad case of second season syndrome. Although that would mean we would have had to have a good first season. So, you know what I mean? The jury's out.
We did alright with 40
Alright.
consistent
Top half.
listeners.
Yeah, we've got 40 points.
40 consistent listeners.
Steady.
So, without further ado, let's get started and meet my wonderful panel. And I'll start, as I always start, at centre back. And our resident, l'enfant terrible, is the man who's straight out of a Joe Orton play. He's angrier than a load of Geordie fans in a tornado. He's hotter than a lunchtime kickoff in Manaus. It's Sam. Mario Samatelli, Sam Connolly. Alright, Sam.
How are you? Long time.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it,
It's been
mate?
a while.
But we're back.
Didn't even do the World Cup one either.
No, we were well a little.
Flopped a little bit.
What World Cup?
What
Yeah.
World Cup? Yeah. we were
Exactly.
gonna do it, and then by the time.
Yeah, by the time we got
After
round
the
to doing a
first
World
game,
Cup special,
out.
England were out. Next, I would normally move over to the left wing, but as usual, producer Pain Dog is being on holiday, and when he's back off holiday, he has to make sure Scotland doesn't leave the United Kingdom. So
Get your flags out.
get your flags out, otherwise he'll come round to your house and get you with his beard. Producer Pain Dog is absent, but up front we still have our resident Sergio Aguero, star striker, good hair, always injured. I'm happy to report, in spite of his injury, he's still the best looking man in the room. It's Barry James Bond Brosnan. Yes! That doesn't mean to go on!
You got it right! You got it right! There we are.
Right, boys.
Right, Bob.
So let's get down to the football. And before we start on some questions I've got for you, is there anything you like, oh, Bob, I've just got to speak about this. It can't wait. Or can everything wait until in a nice, orderly fashion? Sam, you got anything?
What? Rising.
Yeah, anything you
Video.
got?
Well, I've got. Yeah. Well, I can't. Where's Sam's things? I'm
It's-
waiting for.
oh, he's saving it for Sam's
things.
things. You'll be glad to hear Sam's things is
Yeah,
back, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got my points.
He's got his
It's a short list.
his extensive notes.
It's all up here.
Barry, anything you want to add? Or?
I've got a little thing which I need to get off my chest. After watching the QPR Man United game and seeing that QPR just completely fall apart, I'm sort of looking at it now, and seeing is experience sometimes a bad thing,
Do you mean with
like managerial experience. I just have a feeling Harry Redknapp
Oh,
went
you
to
mean-
Old Trafford yesterday or on Sunday, whenever you listen to it, morning, afternoon, or evening, and I just feel like he's gone there almost a little bit in awe of how United are with their signings. He's just
Yeah.
gone, oh, okay, maybe we'll just sort of write this one off almost.
It's fair to say QPR didn't really.
Maybe
turn
turn
up
up.
at
And I feel
all.
like with a young manager who's got nothing to lose, can just go there fearless and sort of have a good go.
It doesn't help when you got Rio Ferdinand in your back four, though, is it?
Experience might have been scared.
Well, yeah, Rio.
Scared.
I never thought it was a bit harsh on Rio that they gave him an award right before the
I know.
game started. I know you've got your head on this game, but here's Bobby Charlton. Just accept this award a minute, and when you've got, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
And we know from Rio Ferdinand's brilliant excerpts in the Sun today that he's a very intelligent, well-spoken, and absolutely not sensitive man. So,
Who hates David Moyes?
right then, boys. Well, I'm worried. I'll be honest with you.
Actually, why is Jermaine Genius
A
as
pundit?
a pundit?
Why not?
When did that happen?
We can't really
Why-
criticise
why we-
anyone for
Yeah,
for
yeah,
pundits.
true.
We're not
True.
coming from a position of
We're bandits.
fan
We are.
Smokey Robinson and the Fandit.
Yeah, we're funded.
Well, as a
Okay.
Fandit, I am very worried because for me, boys, Chelsea are already 5 points clear of the nearest rivals. It's a one-horse title race this year, boys. I'm telling you now, Chelsea are going to win it at a canter. Sam Connolly, tell me I'm wrong.
What, Chelsea? Well,
Chelsea are going to win it easy, mate. We'll win
I'd
it
love
by
to-
Christmas for me.
Well, I'd love to tell you that I think they will. I think it's going to be a two-horse race. We've seen, but you see them and they just look amazing. Everything.
They
I
do look
can't
amazing.
believe Wenger gave up the chance to sign
Fabregas.
Fabregas. They
I
just
was-
look amazing. They
I was
look
going to
good.
say, it's almost like he's copy and pasted Fabregas and Costa into his team. He's deleted Lampard, deleted Torres, and
Costa. What a player.
Costa's looking.
What a player.
They're just looking pretty formidable. Barry, would you agree? Can
Yeah.
you see chinks in the armour?
Well, look, they've had a strong start. So obviously Mourinho's put together a good team. I mean, they're going to have blips. Every team's going to have a blip. All their fixtures after Champions League games are against the top
they've got a
teams.
tough one in there.
So that's that. I mean, against your rivals, that's always going to tell something at the
But
end
that's
of the
where
season.
last season Chelsea beat all the rivals around them, didn't they? And struggled against the lesser teams. We've not
Yeah.
seen them play a big side, as it were, yet, but they've been
They do look-
absolutely
they look
smashing
great.
the.
I think City will give still. I think we haven't pulled it together just yet. And I
Yeah.
think we've got a lot to.
I was going to ask you what you thought about that, Sam, because City, it's not been going too well at the minute. Is it Yaya birthday
The
hangover?
same, the same
Is
thing
it-
happened last year though. The same thing. We didn't necessarily play our best football just
So-
towards Christmas.
Well, that's true.
Yaya Toure seems to be in a bit of a world of his own at the moment.
Yeah, everything's bad in it.
Too much birthday cake.
Yeah, but we
Too
have
much
got Van
humble
Lampard.
birthday
So.
cake.
Aye.
Lampard, I thought he played all right
He did
against
alright,
Arsenal.
did alright.
But-
I think it's a great signing. I think when Torre goes off to the African Cup, he'll be there to fill in the gaps.
Experience, although, is that a good thing?
Yeah.
The old experience comes back to it.
Well, I think we just had a lot of the internationals as well. They looked tired at the start of the season. Fernandinho didn't look on top. When I was at Stoke and it just looked shocking. Him and Fernando actually looked shocking. But then Fernandinho had a great game against Arsenal, didn't he? So
Was City right to let Negredo go? Do you think?
we didn't let him go. He was wanting to go. He's been crying all year about going back to play. He hates England. He hates Manchester. He hates the
Who can
rain.
blame him for
It's
hating Manchester? Really?
his girlfriend, his wife or his girlfriend. She absolutely hated
The
it.
missus has had enough of
he was
Manchester.
he was begging to go.
All right.
We
Well,
didn't-
should they replace Negredo then maybe?
We didn't have enough time though.
Every
Really.
player listened to his wife and going to Manchester. There'll be no one playing up there.
Yeah, it'd be empty. I reckon Di Maria and Falcao must be single. Well, so we've not.
So
ruled
yeah,
out-
I mean, I'd have loved for him to stay because I like Negredo and I think he's a great player, but yeah, couldn't keep hold of him.
Well, never
And
mind.
we got three. It's like what a sign of the times, isn't it? That we got Djokovic, Zeko, and Aguero.
Jovetic.
Jovetic.
Djokovic ain't playing.
Djokovic.
So if you signed him up front for City.
Wait, he's got a good serve.
I get his name wrong all the time. Me and my dad have a nightmare for that. But yeah, we got three fantastic international
true.
great strikers, and still, yeah, they're
But
like.
it's getting Aguero fit, isn't it? He
Yeah,
is,
I know.
He is a sports car.
And they are all, to be fair, liable to injuries. All three of them. So.
Never mind. Let's move on to Liverpool because Liverpool have had all the other teams except Chelsea have had a shaky start. Our Liverpool, Barry, the new Spurs, they've lost a key player in Louis. I didn't buy anybody ever. Suarez. Bucket loads of new signings. Who are them new signings? I hear you ask. Lambert, Lallana, Can, Markovic, Lovren, Origi, Marino, Balotelli, Manquillo. Is it a Spurs, Barry? Is it a last season Spurs? Or are Liverpool gonna juggle the Champions League and the league and make an impact, or do you think it's going to be a worse year for them?
It is a similar situation. I think they've bought a little bit better in the sense that they've got Premier League experience that Spurs didn't do. But at the
That's unsigned. Phones off, people. 10 pence fine.
at the risk, you can't lose a player like Luis Suarez and expect to just get over it and be fine the next season.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
he gave him so much more than just the goals. He was an attacking threat. And against Villa at home, that's exactly what they're missing. Sturridge is going to miss a few games because they're playing so many more this season.
He wants to cotton wool Sterling, the cotton wolf cotton
Yeah,
wool effect,
exactly.
he said.
But Balotelli can be that player.
I think he can do. That's what I mean. But at the moment,
What do we think
he hasn't
to-
hit the ground running, is he? So he's
Yeah,
looks like he's going to take some
He's
time.
been-
He did well.
His
Did you
team
see
play has been-
Senderos kick him?
Yeah.
So
I know.
he did well to keep his cool. But if it was any other player, you'd imagine.
Senderos was at him all
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And to be fair, so Balotelli looked a little out of sorts so far. But do we think he'll endear himself to the cop?
I hope he does. I love
Yeah,
Balotelli.
we do. We
I
all
think
love
he's,
Mario.
it does hurt me to see him in a red shirt, Liverpool shirt, but I think he's an amazing player. He's got all the personality that a footballer should have, and just great for the Premier League. I mean, you don't get, it just makes you put a smile on your face,
He
doesn't it?
does. He does. To
Do you
be
know what?
fair.
But do you know what I'm worried about with Balotelli? Is that the whole thing around him, like sort of looking after himself and not getting himself into trouble. And I'm like, well, that's the kind of bit that I think that helped him.
Yeah.
I was just like, I reckon if he went back at Senderos, he probably would end up scoring a hat trick, but maybe getting sent off at the end.
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh,
I
I'd
said
take the
this-
hat trick.
I said that the other day, and I think that is exactly what he's going to be missing this year. When we won the league, he was like the biggest nutter in the, he was setting fireworks off every 2 seconds,
Yeah.
and we won the league.
Yeah, that's
And he's a
true.
nutter, but if he, that's what like it
He's
seems
going
a
to
bit
take
weird.
that edge
Like,
off, that little sort of extra
Take the
2%
edge
which
off
he
him,
needs.
yeah.
like going to
that's-
Brendan Rodgers, it just seems like Brendan's just like kind of taming this like.
Brendan's a really calming figure, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
So even if you can calm Balotelli, he's got something going on. I don't know, some special Brendan
But
powers.
why does he need calming?
Well, he's,
Obviously, there's something
He
wrong.
is
He's been
quite-
through a lot of managers.
yeah.
But it gives you that extra.
I'll put up some Balotelli moments on the Twitter feed. Some
Yeah.
of our favourite Balotelli moments. But anyway, let's move away from Mario and Liverpool. But I think Liverpool, in fact, Liverpool top four. Do you think they'll finish in the top four this year with Champions League as well?
Well,
United looking
I'd have said that
stronger.
2 weeks ago before United just bought everyone.
Mm.
But
I think they're going to struggle now. I think I like Liverpool, like the way they played last year. I'd like to see them back in it, but
but then you forget that Suarez.
it's
is
going to
a-
be
goal
it's going to be Chelsea, it's going to be City, and
and
then
then the other two places.
Arsenal,
will-
United, Liverpool, Spurs, Everton.
Well, let's move
Cram them
on.
into 2 places.
Let's move on to Man United, and they made a plethora of signings or whatever.
Plethora?
I don't know how you say it. But
I nearly
do we
swallowed.
like those signings? Are they going to make the top four, or did they just beat QPR?
Oh, mate, it's so annoying. So
You were-
annoying. They were absolutely rubbish.
Is
2 weeks ago.
this is an unbiased view,
No,
Sam?
but they weren't. They were terrible, and they were
They were
widely
terrible.
terrible.
I watched the Burnley
And then
game,
2
and
weeks,
they
and
were
all of a sudden
awful.
it's like just like a click of the fingers. Some wizards, mate, and it's internationals, and then bang, they're amazing. What has happened?
It's not a wizard,
Why?
Sam. It's a wizard with a lot of money.
I hate it when clubs just buy players and make themselves better.
Coming from a Manchester City fan.
I'm joking, of course I'm joking.
So,
but
do we
I'm
like
just-
the look of United's
Oh,
new
I
signings?
mean,
Di
that's-
Maria looked
that's the thing,
like
like,
he was playing. He looked yesterday like he was playing the game at a different pace to
Yeah,
everyone else on
yeah.
the field.
And
Which,
Di Maria is the most important. Well, him and Blind, Danny Blind, are the most important signings that Man United have made recently because obviously that defensive midfielder, that sort of anchor man in there, they've been missing for years.
years
And
and
then
years.
they become last year they become so one-paced and slow and predictable. Suddenly, Di Maria is just like running past people. You can see the United players look like they're more having fun and
yeah.
just from that one game at Old Trafford, and I know it was 4-0 and I know it was QPR, but I think the whole Premier League has just gone, hold on a minute.
they're
And
back.
that little fear factor which Old Trafford has, I think there's a little bit of that
It's
just
turned
coming
up
back
a
in
notch,
again.
man.
Because it wasn't just that they beat QPR, it's the swagger they did it and the way they did it and just absolutely controlled it from start to finish.
I
Exactly,
suppose-
that's it is. It is QPR, and I would be one for saying, yeah, but it's just QPR. It's just you can't respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
But watching the game, and you just even knowing that Ronaldo is annoyed that Di Maria has left Real Madrid.
Yeah, he got man of the
He
match in the
Well, exactly.
European Cup.
Yeah,
final,
exactly.
didn't
So
he?
even though it's just like, oh come on, they're going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, I think everyone's talking about the back four, but
Well, they've got that Rocco
They've
now.
got
He
Rocco.
made his debut. I'd love to know how he couldn't get a work permit. Rocco,
Yeah.
they were like, he's struggling to get a work permit. I was like, have you seen Man United defend recently? How can he not get a work permit for that defence?
Yeah.
True.
But, well, I think he can actually. I think he's got a pending court case actually, which is like. But he's got one now. Welcome to the Premier League. So, unfortunately for most people in Britain, Man United look like they might be getting good again. It was good while it lasted,
Yeah.
but they are back. They are a force.
It's nice. It's nice for the Premier League as well to see some of those big stars come into the Premier League.
Yeah, again, it is. It is.
And this is like people having a go at Man United because I mean, what's it? Falcao's reportedly on 340 grand a week, or it's going to cost them 20 million for the year.
Mm.
Well, that's what Real Madrid and Barcelona are doing.
Yeah. Well, if he
paying
fires them into the top
Ronaldo
four, back into the Champions League,
You've
it
got
pays for
to pay
it.
that type of money, haven't you?
Personally, as a City fan, I mean, I know I love United to go to the 5th division, you know, and just like do a Leeds basically, but it's not going to happen. And obviously, you want to beat your rivals when they're at the best as well.
Yeah.
So you know that's
Cool. Well, without let's leave United for a moment, and I'm gonna give chance for Barry to talk about his love/hate of the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs. So, Barry, are Spurs the new Spurs, or are they still the old Spurs?
Let me clear this up, Bobby.
He's proud of that, by the way.
Yeah. No, I'll clear it up. I don't know.
You don't know yet. It's too
I don't
early
know
to
yet.
say.
I don't know. Right. The thing I am glad about. I mean, obviously we've got a drubbing against Liverpool. That was not nice to see. So that was the old Spurs. But then we did come back. I know we drew against Sunderland, but I mean we put in a good performance. We should have finished it off.
It was an unlucky own goal as well.
It was an
wasn't
unlucky
it?
own goal. We brought Harry Kane on to finish and see the game out, and he's just decided to
Kick it in his own net.
yeah, put the old like sort of hip it and abdominal it into his own net. And it was a good performance. Like we had good possession, we had more shots, and it just didn't finish it off.
I've noticed Chadley, your man who got worst signing of the season for Spurs last year, he's having a good year this year.
He started off alright, didn't he?
He heard your criticism and he's turned it around a
He's
little bit,
obviously-
or is he still?
You know, he listened. I mean, he still looks a little bit pedestrian. He's still a bit slow for me. But if he's adding sort of goals and creativity to his game, he might be able to sort of work around that because Lamella,
Lamella,
who I've
the
put my hat on,
second coming.
second coming for Lamella, and him and Ericsson are floating in around. They seem to be working well together, just sort of in that three behind Adebayor. So I mean, the future's bright. We're doing alright. Like the time will tell. We've got a new manager, and what I like with Pochettino is that what we've missed before is that Tottenham have always had a strong philosophy of how they play football, and sometimes the fans would rather lose 4-3 and entertain a match rather than with a scrappy 1-0 or a draw or anything like that. And Pochettino's got you can see the matches that we're playing, this high pressing style. We're putting teams under pressure, and we cut out those sort of defensive mistakes and these new signings bed in. Top 4 is definitely a possibility.
Cool. Right. Well, let's move across North London and to Arsenal. And they've started the season quite well. They've brought in some good players. How ripped is Alexis Sanchez, by the way?
Ridiculous. I made a comment the other day. Barry laughed.
No.
Oh my lord. He's
Yeah.
got muscles on muscles, that bloke.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
You'd take a yellow card for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Celebration.
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
it still a yellow card? I mean, I did like it because he scored against my team, but why is that still a yellow card? Why?
It's the
Just-
number
but-
one thing that has got to change. in
What is
football.
wrong?
We've got to try and boost the viewers, get the ladies watching.
I think if he had a dog's body, you know what I mean? If he had a sort of more Bobby physique, a bit of a belly and that, and it
Did we
was
talk
not
about this?
nice, you could show him a yellow card then. But when a man's got an Adonis body like that, you can't show him a yellow card.
Did we talk about it last year? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I
Wasn't
think
it
we.
Payne? He said it was
yeah.
something to do with the sponsors. That's why. And if you
Oh.
take your shirt off, that's when the cameras are on you for the goal. And
It may be a
so-
question for producer
Apparently.
Payne.
Yeah,
though,
you're right,
when he gets
just
back.
paint the sponsor
Yeah,
on his
yeah.
stomach.
Yeah.
And then you
Each-
take it off. The sponsor's still there, and you get to show your Adonis-like
Yeah.
body.
In stark
I'll
contrast.
just take your shorts off.
That was a bit, didn't he?
What?
Let Bintner do that.
I think.
Oh, yeah, they get
he
insurance
got
for his
a load of
boxes.
Paddy Power pants.
Paddy Power
Yeah.
pants.
In stark contrast, I wanted to start a little campaign this week, actually, and that's give some medicine to Mesut Ozil, because he is the poorliest looking player I've ever seen. He looks genuinely poorly. So, hashtag medicine for Mesut. Let's get him feeling better, because he looks awful blue out there, and he should be in red.
Bluer than Pardew.
And the last thing
Oh,
I
Do you
just
think I just roll over that?
Sorry, say it again.
Bluer than Pardew.
Hey!
Hey!
I just wanted to get your thoughts quickly, boys, on the Jack Wilshere debate. A lot of Arsenal fans I speak to are like, Wilshere, get him out. I like Jack Wilshere. A European sort of type player, probably not your most typical English player, but what do you think about Wilshere?
He annoys me. He really does. I think he's a great footballer, but the amount of time he spends on the floor, it's just irrational.
It seems for me that's the part of his game, his strength, but he shoulder barged Nasri off.
No, but
in
yeah,
the
but
game.
exactly. That's what annoys me, because he can stay on his feet. He's
Mm.
just choosing. He's just choosing a little slight knock and he'll go over, which is a
Yeah.
problem with modern football in general.
I think that part of Wilshere's game. I think he just gets injured so much. I think there's still a sort of thing in his brain where
Yeah,
it doesn't
so-
really sort of go in 110%, because there's always that sort of those little ankle knocks that he kept getting.
Yeah, he's got.
Every sort of few weeks there was a little new injury coming up, and that's what I think Wilshere needs now. He just needs a season without an injury.
Yeah.
Start
When
fulfilling his
It's a bit
potential.
when he
smarmy
burst onto
though
the
as well.
scene.
It's a bit. Oh, I'm good. I know.
He
That
took
kind
the
of
game. He
thing.
took
No.
the game against
that's
against
all
Man
right.
City by the scruff of the neck. I
Yeah,
think,
that's
the
right.
second half, didn't he?
Yeah.
had a
He
really
did,
good
and he
second
had
half.
his goal was fantastic. But I just think he should stand on it. You know, like the old days. Bring the old days back. Georgie Best, he used to run past everyone,
Yeah.
jumping over. When's the last time you see someone jumping over a challenge? I'd like to bring that back into the game.
No.
Jumping over, you don't see it anymore. No one
Yeah,
jumps
no
over.
one
Everyone
rides
just runs
those
into the
challenges
challenges. That's why
anymore.
everyone's getting injured.
Yeah, yeah.
Jump over him.
Start jumping.
Start jumping.
Bit more hurdlers.
Jack, if you're listening, mate,
Jump ball.
jump or stand. Jump or stand. Don't
Stand.
fall.
No falling.
There you are.
Right. Well, they're Arsenal. They're looking alright. It's looking sort of interesting. Chelsea have taken the lead, but maybe you've talked me round and the title's not quite done and dusted.
no,
yet.
it's
Well,
not. It's the Premier League. Can't say
it's the
that.
Premier League. Boys, who is your overachiever of the season so far? I've got your 3 nominations who I thought teams who you probably didn't expect to do as well. Saints, Swansea, Villa. Who are you most impressed with?
I
of
tell you
the
what, I
3?
didn't expect Southampton to do that well.
Yeah.
Considering everyone that they've shipped out, but they've done some amazing business over the summer.
Yeah, you got Tadic and
Pele.
Pele, they got
Yeah,
Pele in.
Pele, best
I mean,
footballer
that's a
ever.
coup. That's a coup.
yeah.
But yeah, some great signings. I think they're playing nice football. And
Yeah, well.
Schneiderlin's just come out today and saying he's happy now.
Oh, Schneiderlin's happy again.
Schneiderlin's
The
happy,
classic.
yeah.
I was unhappy, but now I'm happy. I was blind, now I can
Tail
see.
between one
Yeah.
No, I'm really impressed with Southampton, and it kind of seems like they had a bit of a plan in their head. I think everyone sort of knew who was going to go.
Mm.
People like Chambers, that was a bit of a surprise when Arsenal went for him, and
He's,
imagine
he's
they had
going
that.
well as well, though.
yeah, and he's doing well at Arsenal. So I'm not sure they obviously knew maybe had an idea that Lambert was going to go in the
And
line and
Lallana,
play
yeah.
players like that. But then when they sort of said no to Schneiderlin not going, it seems like they might have had certain players in key positions which they couldn't let go, and
Yeah.
other players like Lallana was probably a good player but replaceable in
Yeah,
that
well,
sort of position. 'cause there's a lot of
certainly
those
have
attacking
replaced him with the
midfielders
Tadic and Pele.
Yeah.
Best footballer who ever lived.
there.
Yeah.
Really, Swansea, I'm really impressed with Swansea as well.
Yeah.
Gary Monk in his first
Proper
season.
season, yeah.
And
Done
Leicester,
good
lost
business.
Mitchell.
Leicester,
Issues gone.
Leicester have been doing
Leicester
alright,
have
and
looked more than at
what's his
home.
name?
Allura.
Allura.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Go on, Baz.
It's
Say
two
it
L's.
again.
Who's your row?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. He's
Is it-
looking
was
good
that
there,
four
whatever.
goals in 3
And
or
Villa,
something?
and don't get me wrong, listeners, I hate Villa. Honestly, beige usually, but I have been super impressed by Villa as well.
Fabian Delph having a
Delph,
Fabian Delph.
brilliant former Leeds
Good
United
man.
man. The proofs in the proofs in
I
his.
thought you weren't a Leeds United fan.
Well, I'm a Leeds United fan this season.
United fan.
It doesn't matter anyway.
I'm impressed. Villa, that was that was a bit of a turn up as well because it looked like Lambert sort of changed his philosophy. Like just gone with kids. Like that's all he was playing. He was just sort of seemed a bit hell bent on. Must have had a meeting with the owner, and just that was the way they were going to go forward. And then this season, who they signed? Senderos, Richardson. Is there they signed there?
Yeah, Richardson.
And,
I'll read you that Villa side out if you like. The Villa side was Guzan, Hutton. Hutton's been given another chance.
Yeah.
Senderos, like you said. Baker, Sissoko, Cleverly, a nice bit of business there maybe. You signed players who've almost got something to prove. Westwood, who's pretty good. Delph, Agbonlahor, who's confident scoring goals, just signed a new contract. Vyman. I think Villa could.
Vyman's
Premier League. It's Premier League experience, which I think they needed, and that's going to help players like Baker and people like that.
Westwood and sort of the players they've brought on through.
Yeah.
So fair play to Villa, because I'd usually slag them off, but they're looking good this year. Right, boys. I think that's about it for the Premier League this week. I did want to ask you one more question though, and it's the Geordie fans. You know what I mean?
every time.
Are Newcastle fans right in their pursuit of getting Alan Pardew the sack so vigorously, so aggressively, or is it really his fault? Where are you on this? Who is culpable for the blame when it's going bad like this?
Is it the same people with the same banners? Do you just put them? You have a
Yeah.
Pardew out, you know.
Yeah.
draw at home.
There's a couple games.
Crack the Pardew out banner out.
Yeah.
Get it out banner last year.
Get the banner out, Pet.
I saw
He's
it.
lost a couple of games.
Match of the day. One of the guys holding it where he was like he had a mohawk. You know what I mean? Or like.
But then you do hear. I mean, I've listened to a lot of people talking about this, but you hear every single person, Shearer, you know, even Genus last night. They all say the same thing. Is it Pardew's fault because it's run? It's a consort. It's like you know, who's making the signings? Who's making all the and.
Apparently he's not getting them signings, but some of the defending against Southampton was.
Well, yeah, I mean that's.
And last year he didn't exactly paint himself in
I was
goals,
listening
did he?
today. They've got the three same centre backs: Stephen Taylor, Williamson, and Colaccini. Are the three centre backs they had
dreadful.
when Pardew came in.
Williamson.
Mike Williamson had one of the worst games I've seen. So, do we think it's a mixture of these things then, or
Well, yeah.
do you feel bad for Alan Pardew?
It's definitely
or?
a mixture, isn't it? Well, because it's different things, isn't it? Because it's just like Mike Ashley's clearly got this this philosophy of how he wants to run the football club, and that he's going to buy sort of cheap players on the continent, get them to have a good season or two, and then sell them on for an inflated price. But then Pardew has to take some of the players because they've won like 4 games this calendar year.
4 games this calendar year.
Since January, they've won 4 games out of.
That's not great.
23, 24, and I'm like, the chairman has to hold up his hands, and that's the way he's going to run it. That's the way he's going to run it. But Pardew, that's the way they've always run it. So when Pardew got the job, he must have known they're the restraints he's
And he had a
working
great
with.
first year as well.
Yeah, great first year, and that's almost like his downfalls. This is what you can do. But then he signed like Kabaye, Var, all them players, and Cisse came in and was
and
out of
just
this world.
tore it up for.
And this year,
He
obviously,
looks
they're
like an
coming
entirely
in, so
different player now.
I mean,
Why
he's
does
on
he
his contracts 7 years.
8-year contract.
Signed an 8-year contract. This is why I think he's not been sacked yet, because.
But then I'm not
Ashley's
sure, like,
gonna
what.
pay that
Like,
off,
what's.
isn't
I mean, it just looks like if Mike Ashley, if Newcastle stay in the Premier League, he'd be happy. But he's just like, there's big money now from the new TV deal. I just think if they're going to stay in the league, that he's just going to be happy.
And
with
who was
that.
it who said the other day about his businessman tactics? Buying someone, training him up, buying someone really cheap, training him up, selling him on for 20 odd million. Just keep on doing that. And that's, as a business model, it's not all that, you know.
It's not all that bad.
And if he keeps himself in the Premier League, money-wise, it's not that bad. If you think it on that level, which us football fans don't do.
And Geordie fans certainly don't
So-
like to
certainly
think of
don't do.
Newcastle as that kind
Exactly.
of club.
But if you're running it as
he's
a good businessman.
yeah,
And something like that, you buy someone for 1 million, 2 million, and sell them on for 20 odd.
fair enough.
Pardew's not going to go anywhere. It's like Pardew's
You just got to
Pardew's
take
not
on
going
to.
Pardew's not going to get a bigger job than this. He's probably on his biggest contract, making a fair bit of money. He's not just going to walk out of this, is he?
Right, we're going to move on to one of your favourite segments in the show, because it's time for segment, Perrier, Oscar, BAFTA, Golden Globe, Emmy, Brit Award. It's Sam's Things. Sam Stings. Sam Stings. Sam Stings. Sam Stings. Sam Stings.
Right, enough of that. Enough of that. Enough of that.
This is the theme music. Sam Connolly, my friend, you're a simple man with simple needs, yes?
I am, yeah, I am.
What are your things for this week?
He said he didn't want to say that before.
I got distracted here. Got distracted. Anyway, I'm not. Maybe I am.
So
sometimes.
this is the part of the show every week where Sam, who loves football, adores it, he comes up with the things that have been annoying him or that are just getting on his nerves in general. So Sam, what do you
I've
need
got a
to
few
address?
this week. I've got ones, people talking about United,
Man United.
Man United,
Why don't you like that, mate?
because it's in the papers every 2 seconds. Man United are rubbish. Man United are amazing. Man United. Just had enough of it. It's like the other day. Sorry, it was in the metro. Got on the tube, got a metro, and it was like black outlining, and you got the red, red devils all over, and and Falcao was there, and it just looked like Darth Vader was just taking over. Oh mate, it was just disgusting. I didn't like it.
You want a cull on you now? Do you want
It's
them
just the
complete-
dark side of the force taking over yet again.
So
And it's just
let me just clear up. Do you want them completely blacklisted, or do you want like a badger cull sort of? You know what I mean? Do it by half. Do you want it out?
magical.
Yeah, they're doing a badger cull at the moment. Where
Yeah,
they're killing off
no,
badgers.
yeah.
So do you want them to sort of
But
reduce
I don't know where that came into.
reduce the colour? Forget about badgers. Do you want them to reduce the column inches?
Well, just have like
or
a little bit so you know where it is, and you can just
Yeah.
just leave it out.
a
Do you know
Man
what I mean?
United section you can just nicely tear out your
it out like
paper.
they do, and I'll just throw it away. Sure.
No, don't throw it away. Recycle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still throwing it away,
It
yeah.
can be toilet paper.
Was it
Good
like
toilet
one of
paper.
them books you had when you were a kid, when you get to a certain point and you can choose which way you want to go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Storage
exactly.
code, and you
Yeah,
go
yeah,
like, turn to page 36 for more Man United stories. And you're like, no.
Exactly.
I choose the other option.
Is that too much to ask for?
Well,
no
we'll
one
have-
even likes United.
We'll have to start Andy defraining
Except
the
United fans.
various
Well, yeah.
papers.
But who
A letter
cares
a
There's
about
a lot
day,
of
them?
them.
Who cares
There's
about
a lot
them?
of United
Yeah,
fans
but
out there.
nobody cares about them.
Anyway, what's your next thing? Any other things you need to?
Yeah. Another thing. Turn your music off.
Oh, God.
Start again. Standing up in stadiums.
What you?
That needs to be. I think this year, I'd love just for the atmosphere. And when I was going to City last year, just in general, I think they need to do that. What they were talking about, the standings, like they do in Germany. They need to.
Yeah.
Need to have one because the atmosphere is just, unless you're going away in the Premier League these days, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best unless you at Crystal Palace. They have a great. I just think that just in general, I was talking to a Tottenham fan who goes to Tottenham all the time. He's just like, yeah, I just think it needs to have that one section of the stadium that you just stand in.
Yeah.
I don't know, you can have a drink in there. I just think it's gone a bit too family. I mean, I love the idea of family and stuff, and
Well, but you have a family stand. I think
Yeah.
it's fair to say that people now are paying so much money. As soon as the team get rubbish, you're like, well, I'm paying 60, 70
Well,
quid
exactly.
for this. I don't feel like.
I heard a nice thing
cheering
from
for-
Tony Fernandez as well. He was talking about, and the money and all that is a lot, and he's one of his main things is to at QPR to reduce the season ticket and reduce, which is a good thing. And I do think City do a lot. It's not that expensive to go to City,
No.
but it just feels like they've put every club. It's just so corporate, and it's just in general and everything.
So
I agree.
let's try and move the standing. I think I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think
just
that
that. I think that's a start. Standing stage like they do in Germany. I think that is you've got a whole section of people, because what I find is when I'm there, you're getting a lot of the old fans who just want to sit down and don't want to do blah, 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 and it's just a bit like, and you get a lot of the younger fans who are sitting with their dads and with their granddads and stuff, and they're not quite embracing what they would have. The thing is that the older lot are going, yeah, but don't sit, you got to sit. But when they were younger,
Yeah.
there was no seating. They were all. There was about 100,000 people in whatever club the stadium there was, and they weren't. And it's just a.
Well, I
you know,
think you made a
backward
good
mentality.
point, so I'm going to stop
Thank
you
you.
before you call for a cull of old people.
One more thing.
in football as well.
No, not colour. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
no.
changes. But,
One more thing.
One more thing.
before
Last
Sam
thing
sings.
is just going to bring it up. The Paddy Power Arsenal homophobia thing. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I thought it was. You've seen it? The advert.
No.
You not seen the
good
laces? You not seen it yet?
No.
Oh, it's
Well,
brilliant.
tell me about it. Tell me
Arsenal,
about
so it's just the players. So you've got who's doing it?
I'll put a link up to it on our Twitter page.
Yeah. Arteta, Giroud,
Cazorla.
Cazorla.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
So it's basically they're all just going. I can't help. Oh yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain's going. I can't help it that I look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And then Cazorla's like the camera's just like right at his eyes, and he's tiptoeing. He's got, I can't help it that I'm tiny or something.
Alright.
And then there's Giroud going, it's like spraying on, shh, I can't help it that I am gorgeous.
And he is gorgeous.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
then at the end it just goes, you can't help that,
Can't
about
help what you are.
you can't help what you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about the homophobia, where your laces.
Well, we're three
I thought it
actors, we hate homophobia.
Exactly. I thought it was.
That is
I thought it was
brilliant.
brilliant. Great advert. Good job, Paddy Power, Arsenal. Great stuff.
It just reminded me of something else actually, which is the Sunderland fans. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but the two Newcastle fans who were tragically killed in the Malaysian airline crash, alleged crash. I'm not gonna. But Sunderland had their family as the guests of honour this weekend against Spurs, and the Sunderland fans raised about 30. I think it was 33 grand for those two families. The Newcastle players, which you know what I mean, shows you that in life there are more important things than football, and fair play to them for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, well, there's the end of Sam's things. That was a heartfelt and quite interesting Sam's things.
There it is.
There goes Sam's things.
There we go. See you, Sam.
Bye.
Things.
Bye, Sam.
Things.
Sam's things.
Sam's things.
I really like this tune.
Sam's things. Nice.
Right, now we move on to our other favourite section. It's time for Frank the Plank. So, this is the part of the show where my panellists each nominate a Frank the Plank from the weekend's football. It can be a chairman, it can be a player, it can be a manager. All they have to argue is convince me that their candidate is the biggest Frank the Plank of the weekend, and I will, you know what I mean, I'll decide fairly and constructively, like Switzerland. So, Sam, who is your nominee for Frank the Plank this weekend?
This week it's going to be Naismith for his horrendous miss.
Big miss.
This
Miss at the weekend.
This is the Everton West Brom game.
Yeah. It was just a terrible miss. Standard, 4 yards out.
Does exactly what it says on the tin, sort of thing.
Exactly.
4 yards out.
4 yards out.
Can't miss.
Yeah, can't miss.
40 yards high.
Over the boot, rose head, all that.
To be fair to him, he didn't just miss by a little bit either. He blazed it well
he did.
over and wide.
Classic miss.
Classic miss. Although there were a few. Foster let a goal underneath
There
it.
was that one as well, but I just like a good old fashioned miss.
A good miss.
A good
miss.
I like Naismith. He's a good player.
No, he's
bangs them in all the
tearing it
time.
up this
so.
year. We didn't really chat about Everton before, but they.
Lukaku's goal was great.
Lukaku as well. He
Proper
looks to be
finish.
finding form. Anyway, Stephen Naismith, he's your candidate for this week. Baz?
I am going to go with John Carver.
John Carver.
John Carver, the assistant manager of Newcastle.
All right.
For trying to take on, it must be about 3,000 or 4,000 angry Geordies.
Yeah.
I just think that's great. Considering he's a bit of a fan's favourite anyway, that's how you can tell the pressure is starting to get to him. Or was it in the warm-up? All the fans are booing or getting on their back, and he tries to take them on. And
What, did he go up to him?
He just went up to them when they were all booing him, and he was just like, got pretty angry and a bit irate at him. It's just like, what are you booing us? You can't be doing that.
Did a bit of the Di Canio.
And you're like,
and you see how that went. You see
Exactly,
how that went for Di Canio.
yeah, exactly. You can't start taking on the fans, especially the Geordies. There's some passionate fans. You start taking on them. You're in for a hiding, I think.
So John Carver's trying to have a fight with 3,000 Geordie fans. Oh, not have a fight with them.
No,
but
he's just like
trying to
taking them
reason
on.
with them. I think
Taking
that's
them
like
on.
trying to reason with a terrorist organisation halfway
Exactly.
through Die Hard sort of thing. You know what
Imagine
I mean?
even Podgy's just going, oh god,
Imagine-
they used to like John Carver as well.
Imagine
I'm
if
screwed.
McLean rung the terrorist. Can't we just work this out? No! We're way past that. Oh. Well, they're two good nominations to start us off with. Usually we'd have a third, obviously, producer Pain Dog. God bless him, isn't here, so it's
Get
down
well
to
soon.
two. Barry, I like that argument. It's always well informed with Barry, you know what I mean? It always comes out. But I might have to go with Sam here, that just an old school miss like that, where you got to score to start us off. So, it gives me a great honour to say that our first Frank the Plank is Stephen Naismith.
It was a big miss. It was a big
It was
miss.
a big
Well, Steve,
miss.
he's gonna score a blinder next week now, as is the way.
Right, well, let's do a bit of any other business or kick it out. Is there anything else? Otherwise, I think we can just about wrap up, unless people want to mention anything, bring anything up.
So now I've done my Sam's things. I'm out. I'm out
Sam's
now.
happy, man. He's
I'm out.
busted his load all over Sam's things. So, to be fair, if it gets to the end of that.
Bring up the sport relief.
Oh,
box
the
again,
Sport
right?
Relief swear box. I'll talk about that for a minute because we don't like swearing here, but every now and then, and there's some people who are on the pitch studio, a bomb gets left off, an F-bomb. And the fines from last season are Sam still owes £5. Oh
there
my
he is.
lord!
There he is.
Oh my lord!
Whipped out a cheeky fiver.
Sam has whipped out a fiver.
Someone got paid.
And it's going in the Sport Relief swear box. I owe nothing, Barry owes £2 and Pain Dog is 40p. We will continue to raise money for Sport Relief all season, and we apologise if anything we do say offends you or you...
Don't look at me.
I'm looking at
directly at Sam.
offends you or upsets you. We try and be fairly neutral here. Obviously, we all hate Man United. By the end of this, no one's going to be listening. But thank you for coming, boys. It's a pleasure to be back.
Cheers, mate.
Tune in next week, listeners, for some more.
Thank
Some
you.
people are on the pitch. Goodbye.
Bye.
Doing my Beckham clap. Over the heads. Clapping off
Sam.
everyone.
There we are.
See you later, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.